The Balochistan Liberation Army has long sought to convince the world that it is a nationalist separatist movement, a group fighting for the so-called rights of the Baloch people. For years, it has cloaked itself in the rhetoric of resistance, feeding off the emotions of a marginalized population and painting itself as a force of liberation. But what kind of freedom fighters hijack a train full of innocent men, women and children? What kind of nationalist movement takes ordinary passengers hostage, subjecting them to hours of terror, fear and uncertainty? The hijack of Jaffar Express on March 11, 2025 was not just an attack. It was an admission. In a single act of brutality, BLA crossed the final threshold, transforming overnight from a separatist organization into a full-fledged terrorist group. Before this incident, the BLA had carefully crafted its image as a movement sparking nationalist sentiment among the Baloch people, positioning itself as their defender against perceived oppression. Lately, the movement changed its course and started hitting softer targets along highways and far-flung levee stations and police posts. For the movement's chain of command, these actions were sufficient to continue the propaganda war. But the handlers didn't realize that the people have started rejecting their rhetoric. Loss of innocent lives is not palatable irrespective of who it is. But after the Jaffar Express hijacking, that sentiment has turned into fury, resentment and rejection. People who once considered BLA to be fighting for their rights now see its true face, one drenched in blood, devoid of morality and consumed by an insatiable thirst for destruction. This was not an attack on military installations, nor a confrontation between armed groups. This was an act of cowardice, an assault on unarmed civilians, an atrocity against the very people BLA pretends to represent. If it had ever had a cause, it lost it on that day. If it ever had credibility, it burnt it to the ground. And if there were ever any sympathizers, they are vanishing fast. The current incident has labeled them a terrorist organization from a movement. It has legitimized government and law enforcement agencies to crack down on them. But are they prepared to fight the state? Can any state condone such an act of barbarism? Except for a few opportunists, some voices in the Indian media, and a handful of political acolytes in Pakistan who have their vested interests, the entire world has condemned this barbaric act. There is no longer a debate about what the BLA is, no confusion, no grey areas. The world recognizes it for what it truly is, a terrorist outfit no different from the groups it once pretended to oppose. Every action it now takes only further cements this identity. No political cause, the struggle for autonomy, or the narrative of oppression can justify what it has done. No foreign backer, well-crafted statement, or strategic alliance can change the fact that BLA has lost it all. It may still exist, but it no longer matters. Its name now is synonymous with betrayal, treachery, and terrorism. It has not liberated anyone, it has only condemned itself to irrelevance. A fading shadow of an organization that once sought power through manipulation but ultimately destroyed itself through its very own reckless violence. The world has spoken, the people have witnessed, and the truth is undeniable. The Balochistan Liberation Army has lost the plot. This is Policy Wire. Thank you for watching.